Welcome back to GameScape3D. This video is the beginning of our speed painting demo for these cliffs. The cliffs I'm going to be painting, I'm going to do a little differently than these. These cliffs are large. They have very pronounced features, so you can paint it with like a 2 or 3 inch brush and it's not a big deal. So consequently, I actually put more coats on these than what I might normally do. Let me move this part here aside. We will be using our switchback path design for this painting demo, and here it is in the raw form. What we're going to be doing is hitting this with, just give me a second here. There we go. We're going to be spraying down with a Krylon matte vintage gray, and then we're going to zenithal that with a Krylon tan camouflage. Okay, it's not called tan. I don't know. It comes out tan, whatever that is. Okay, and then I'm going to actually flip these over and reverse zenithal them with a matte dark pearl and a black, maybe a black. We'll see how it looks. And then I'm going to try washing it with a Vallejo black primer. And I'm going to see if I can just knock these whole things out with that sequence. Okay, I've let this spray paint set up for a good 3 minutes, and I got my pot of moldy paint water here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the wash now. I'm just going to take this jar and dump it down the face. After this, though, I will have to stop for a while before we flock it. I'm going to use a sponge to pull some black off of certain areas. Basically, I'm using the sponge as kind of a reverse dry brush. It's going to naturally hit high areas and pull the black pigment off of those areas. I'm pressing down. Whoops, sorry about that. Pressing down. Hey, at least it wasn't my beer, right? Pressing down a little bit to make sure I have an effect. And then at a certain point, I'm just going to let the paint take its course. This sponge, I am wringing it out a little bit. Maybe I'll try wringing it out over the stone a little bit, see what happens. I'll do one ring out there. Just kind of give it a little run. You get that run going and don't have to worry about controlling everything. Just let the paint do the work. All right. I'm going to stop right there. We'll see how it turns out, okay? All right. All right, so we're back in the studio. Our paint job is dry. You can see it matches up pretty well. For most of you, you're going to be ready to go to the tabletop at this point. My cliffs are actually a little cold for my taste. I want to warm them up a little bit. So at this point, we're at about 10 minutes of work. I'm going to go ahead and put another 5 minutes in. Zenithal this thing one more time on top with the tan camo. Do one more black wash to give myself a little more of a nuanced gradation on my cliffs. But for most of you, you'll be ready to go if you want to. You can flock it a little bit and you'll be all set. After I finish up my thing, I will be putting down some gel medium, and I'll be covering this thing with some grass flock and probably some dirt from my yard, and then I'll be all done. So I'll meet you back here shortly. All right, we're ready to go now. Got my homemade dirt flock there. I got my grass flock, and then I got a watered down matte gel medium. My purpose on flocking this, partly visual, but also to create a little more tooth on these steps. As you know, 3D prints are typically pretty slippery and slidey for minis. So this will create a surface that's a little easier on your minis in terms of keeping them stable. All right, let's get this over with. All right, so we're all done. I basically got this done in about 20 minutes, maybe a couple minutes over. It's all flocked, it matches my original one, and I hope it's helpful for you when you go to paint yours, if you want to take the fast route. Next up, we're going to take a look at how we can stack these cliffs up 4 feet high. I've had a few requests for that, and I've come to realize that this design already possesses the attributes needed to accomplish that for the most part. So we'll take a look at that real quick. All right, thanks for stopping in.